Let's talk about what's been happening since October 4th, 2023. I traveled to Skowhegan, Maine, to the Skowhegan District Court, filed a protection from harassment, terrorizing, and stalking against the sheriff. And when I got home a couple hours later, lo and behold, my home again entered, vandalized, my dog was stolen, my vehicle was vandalized. All right? It was reported. It was reported to the Penobscot County Sheriff, who told me not to message him anymore. He'd get me for harassment. Same sheriff told Laura Ingram from Fox 35 out of Washington, D.C. to shut up about the illegal marijuana grows in the state of Maine, Penobscot County. Isn't that right, Troy Martin? In Dale, Lancaster. So, noting that in 2021, when my daughter was missing and announced that she was coming home alive, my home got swatted, burned down, frivolously condemned, and they said I didn't live there. Imagine that. Well, so what happened then? When I did get back to the state of Maine with my daughter, she was taken right away from me. From the hospital, never returned, taken to a shelter. They didn't contact me. I was sitting right out in the fucking parking lot. The next morning, they contacted me from the shelter and telling me they had my daughter in a bus ticket and I had to send her to Vermont so that she could see her son. Okay, well, reluctantly, knowing how ill my daughter was and the state of mind and all the abuse that she had gone through, and all of the reasons why they don't want her with me is because I protect my daughter. Okay, I protect my family. I'm the only one that protects my family, sure. That fuck isn't their sperm donors. Wouldn't that be right? Sergeant Joel Cummings, Skowhegan PD, why don't you have a fucking DNA if you're not the father? Okay? But you were at my bedside. I was 18 years old, 17 when I got pregnant. So was it you or the dope boy? Well, that's all been reported. And all again, swatted again. Yeah, that's right. Sure did. Sitting in my vehicle on a Sunday morning. And why is it that it just seems habitual every time that there's interaction? Happens to be on a special day, whether it's a birthday of my children, a Sunday where I'd be going to church, before or even after. I can account for every fucking thing that you police officers and politicians and your little do boys and girls called little fucking dick suckers have been doing. Harassing, following, terrorizing, stalking, and planting evidence. Would that be? Because there's no way that I went from South Carolina, my vehicle impounded because it ran out of gas, all of the continuous stalking and stopping by police, running my identification, never found a warrant for the state of New Hampshire, not even when I was incarcerated back in October of 2023, when they ran me extensively before releasing me after I'd already been PR'd. Now, I was in Brentwood, New Hampshire Correctional Facility for Rockingham County when I had just been sitting in my vehicle, illegally surveilled and watched by the police officer that used to be a detective, perhaps, in Raymond, New Hampshire, which isn't very far from Jeffrey Noyes, now is it? Jeffrey Noyes being the bail and bondsman until 2028 listed. Still not set for trial, but has admitted having sex with the girls underage, just like his half brothers that were convicted of killing and raping young girls near Colebrook, New Hampshire area. Isn't that right, Vincent Aluzzi? They were convicted in your court and they were let scot-free, weren't they? Because you found them incompetent. Well, March 17th, there was a court date set for my daughter. She didn't appear. I was there on status conference by phone to hear what was going on. Vincent Aluzzi wants my daughter locked up on an involuntary psychiatric ward hold like he did for 90 days back in 2021. Had her locked up when they had just taken my grandson from her, swatted her, closed me out of my apartment. She lost everything out of her apartment and her son. 90 days being shot up with ketamine and shock treatment, and I got that paperwork from the hospital. They say it was justifiable. There is no fucking justification to abusing anybody, anything. So with that being said, keep the fuck away from the hospitals, people, unless you have a witness with you. Do not allow an officer to speak with you without a witness. Demand their sergeant. Well, lo and behold, I demanded a sergeant on Sunday morning. He said, there's nobody available. I said, I want another officer here. Another officer did show up. He was very cordial. He went in and got my purse out of the store with my car key in it. Mr. Officer Drake went through my purse and he kept it. There was nothing in it other than my personal identification, my bank card, and my car key. So him keeping my purse would hinder me from being able to make bail and pay my way, correct? When I was let out on another PR, not even having to see the judge, okay? I sat there. I sat there until 5 o'clock when the taxi cab driver got there a half hour prior to that. So he had to wait a half hour on me. He's not happy about it, and he probably won't be serving the county jail anymore, giving people rides because he's tired of having to sit and wait and not get paid. I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. I had a great conversation with him, and I'm here to tell you about it. The fact is, there's no reason why Officer Michael Drake should have been behind me reading my plate as I had observed him all weekend circling around. My car was registered. It expired on midnight April 6th, okay? The car didn't move after that because I was with full intent. I have to get it registered, which I had intended to do. Get through Sunday and have it registered and be gone on Monday. But that didn't happen, did it? Brenda Rowell keeps on following, harassing, and stalking. I've got so many reports saved on my phone, calls recorded, requesting that she be stopped. Maine doesn't want to stop her, so we're going to try New Hampshire. We're going to see if New Hampshire wants to get involved now. Seems how I've been here for a minute. And I have no intent on leaving New Hampshire anytime soon. Because you see, with the frivolous activity that's been happening, I have to sit and wait. I have to wait until, this morning I called the attorney in New Hampshire and I tell him 24 hours after I get my car back, I get a ticket. Would that be because everybody had the chance to review and find out that I was filing for high risk protection in the 87 billion plus multi-million in lawsuits that I had previously filed? All that paperwork disappeared. So did my home, making me a non-resident so that I could not pursue with the running of and for state representative, which was handed to Jansen Wilhoit, who is a known criminal felon who had scammed multiple people out of millions of dollars and never paid it back. And he ended up being the state rep for the state of Vermont, and now he is a public defender adopting children from parents that have been swatted, as well as representing children. How the fuck is that? He got pardoned from prison sentence after 5 years for claiming rape, and he becomes a politician in the state of Vermont, adopting children and representing them as well. Is that not some kind of frivolous activity? You ought to stop and fucking think about what I'm saying and do something about all of it. How about Dale Lancaster? Come forward and tell how you could just coincidentally condemn my home that was only 11 years old and have it burned to the ground without me knowing about it. Just days after it was announced that my daughter, who had been missing and you refused to assist, was found alive and coming home. You didn't want us to come back, did you? No more than Jeffrey Noyes wants me to be heard in the courtroom. And where the fuck is my daughter today? It's been reported. Greenland, New Hampshire knows that my daughter's been missing, not been heard from since March 1st, 2023. Essex County Courthouse knows that too. It was a great fucking setup, wasn't it? So I'm asking you all that are listening and paying attention. There's a Brenda Rowell, Skowhegan, Madison area that's been continuously harassing. You know about it. I've showed you information. I've talked about it. Y'all know about my daughter being missing, sex trafficked, both of us, by police and politicians since I was 14 years old. Swatted, took my kids. I filed underground sex trafficking investigation requests into all the police and politicians involved throughout the state of Vermont, right down to Florida. Nothing was done about it. I gave that great lengthy story to the chief of police in Greenland, New Hampshire the other day. Detail, dates, times, people, names, places. What's happening about it? Did you put my daughter into the NCIC yet, Miss Chief Tara Tucker? You should probably be thinking about that because I'm contacting the CIA. I'm also contacting a whole lot of others. The ACLU, the civil units, the criminal unit, for the rights of the citizens. That's right. I'm contacting everybody I can possibly fucking think of today. I'm going to make signs. I'm going to put them on wherever I can. I'm going to hand out decals with the names, dates, people, and places so that people can start maybe checking into you. Because it seems like nobody wants to check into the ones that are doing wrong, but you all want to swat the ones that aren't doing anything wrong. How about the guy in the New Hampshire fucking plate that pulled up right beside me this evening? And I said, hey, hold up now. Yeah, don't be sitting by me smoking your fucking weed and shit, because I'm getting accused of the shit that you motherfuckers are doing out here. Riding around, smoking weed, fucking doing your drugs and shit. No, it's not me doing it, okay? Yeah, I do smoke marijuana. But I don't go out of my way to try to buy a big bag of motherfucking marijuana that I can't afford when I've got priorities, all right? And I'm certainly not going to buy a bag of marijuana and sit in a zero tolerance fucking state with it. Nope. So can you tell me where the marijuana came from? Because my car was swatted. There's a missing seatbelt in the back. I'm not saying that the cops did it, but I'm saying there's a missing seatbelt in the back, so I can't get my vehicle registered and inspected. The title, the bill of sale, and the repair receipts, I've got copies of. But I don't have the originals because I was swatted. Do you understand that this shit has been going on continuously since 1995, dating back with a William Asher, who married me under a false name of Donald Arthur Jr., and William Asher. The DNA doesn't change. Fingerprints don't either. So is that William Asher working at Dover, New Hampshire, Mass Brigham Hospital, Cancer Treatment Center? Y'all probably ought to be finding that out, because here's the thing. A few years ago, when he had contacted me and harassing me and telling me really strange shit over a voicemail message, I reported it, and all of a sudden, they didn't do anything about him, but I was served with a restraining order by a William Asher and a Christopher Arsenault out of Massachusetts, saying that he had been with William Asher for 23 years. Well, lo and behold, William Asher had left me 23 and a half years ago at that point. And now all of a sudden, after 23 years of them being together, they're not together. He's with a guy named Sebastian, and they're married. Imagine that. But I was a liar? I don't think so. What y'all need to know here in Greenland, Portsmouth, Dover, Keene, the state of Maine, the state of Massachusetts, Boston University Medical Center, who got a sex trafficking detective in there, talked to my daughter, got a full complaint, and sent her to Daytona on a plane one way, where she was obviously set up and went missing. Isn't that right, Christopher Ray? Christopher Ray, can you tell everybody, please, how you know myself and my daughter? Tell them about all the conversations. Tell them about all the paperwork, Christopher. I've already contacted the congressman from Ohio, Jim Jordan, to let him know, because he is not happy with the FBI, the CIA, or anybody in between for all the frivolous activity that's happening. So with that being said, anybody else out here that's had evidence planted on them in their vehicle, lied about by EMTs, police, hospital staff, or anybody at the facilities, please reach out. You don't have to call me. Contact the news and tell them your fucking story. I'm the only one that speaks the fuck up, and I'm done speaking up for any of you. I'm not telling anybody anything for you, and I'm not helping any of you anymore. That's a fact and a promise. Because why? Y'all are fucking retarded to sit on your asses and allow people to abuse you and not speak up or do anything about it. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that goes for every fucking one of you. Mostly you females. You females out here ought to be a whole lot fucking smarter than that to allow people to continuously abuse you. But no, you'd rather sit on your fucking asses. No, it'll be over someday. It'll be over one day, a whole lot fucking sooner, if you get off your asses and fucking start talking and doing something about it. Instead of watching everybody around you as well as yourself. Oh, well, I'm going through it too. Well, fuck you. Stop going through it and start helping each other, you dumb motherfuckers.